Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to do a deep dive today, and we're going to look at Tooker Studios and
Icarus Studios.
their goal of building a meme media network. It's pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
I've got some of their writings here, looks like manifestos, really, and some articles
Really interesting.
analyzing their rise.
Yeah.
So are you ready to jump into this crazy world where memes meet the media?
What's fascinating is that they're not just posting memes online, right? They're really tapping into something that especially younger generations are feeling, this distrust of traditional media.
Like legacy media.
Yeah, what they call legacy media. And look, they've grown really fast. So
Yeah.
like it or not, they're onto something.
They really don't hold back, do they? I mean, they call it
No.
they use the term cooked media, and
Yeah.
they claim that these big news networks and newspapers are just manipulating everyone.
Yeah, they think.
Pushing propaganda, silencing anyone who disagrees with them.
They do.
And the language they use is
Yeah.
strong. It's like dumpster fire, and
Yeah.
the emperor has no clothes.
Well, yeah, they're not the first to
Yeah.
distrust traditional media, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they point to things like WikiLeaks, citizen journalism, independent creators,
Oh, yeah.
all evidence that people are moving away from those established sources,
Right.
looking for new perspectives, rejecting what they call the manufactured consensus.
Yeah, and that's where their meme strategy comes in, right?
Right.
They think that memes are like
The ultimate weapon.
the ultimate weapon in this fight for truth.
Yeah.
They're more than jokes to them. They call them
Modern mythology.
modern mythology, powerful tools
Powerful.
that bypass all the gatekeepers of traditional media.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Well, they compare memes to political cartoons,
Mhm.
protest songs, underground newspapers,
Interesting.
all these things challenging the dominant narrative with satire, critique alternative viewpoints.
Yeah.
Tooker Studios believes memes are doing the same thing in the digital age. Same spirit of rebellion.
So it's not about just making people laugh. It's about building what they call a decentralized media empire,
Right.
driven by the community.
The community.
They want to give a voice to those who they believe are being ignored
Yeah.
by mainstream media, and they even want to archive these meaningful moments in crypto history.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense they started with their own cryptocurrency, Politify.
Right. That connection to crypto and internet culture
Yeah,
is so important for understanding what they're all about.
totally.
They live in those worlds, right?
I mean, they use phrases like thousands of hours in the trenches of CT, crypto, Twitter.
Nice.
Super active online community talking about cryptocurrency all the time.
Okay.
They talk about countless memes shared through bull and bear alike, meaning the ups and downs of the crypto market.
It's like they're creating their own language,
It is.
almost a code
Right. For those in the know.
for those in the know.
Yeah, they want to reach a specific audience,
Right.
speaking directly to them using references they get.
They believe it makes them more authentic, more in tune with the culture than these traditional outlets,
Yeah,
who they think just don't get it.
right.
They're not just covering the story.
Yeah,
They're living it,
yeah.
or at least that's the image they're putting out.
And they're not shy at all about sharing their metrics, are they?
Not at all.
Over 250 videos,
Uh-huh.
millions of views,
Right?
endorsements from huge names in Web3,
Yes.
which is basically like the next internet.
Built on blockchain, yeah.
Yeah, and they've even got mainstream celebrities on their side.
Wow.
They really like to emphasize that their numbers go up,
Yeah.
proof that what they're doing is working.
It's a very data-driven approach, right?
Yeah.
Very much in line with how things work online, metrics analytics.
Yeah.
They track everything, their growth, their engagement, their reach.
Mm-hmm.
They want to prove that they're building something big, something that's actually having an impact.
Okay, so that brings us to the heart of it all, really, doesn't it? The Tooker token,
The Tooker token.
their own cryptocurrency.
Right.
It's not just about building a media company.
No, it's not.
It's about building a whole financial system around their content.
Exactly. They describe the Tooker token as a way for people to directly invest in their mission.
Wow.
It's like buying into their vision,
Oh, wow.
becoming a part of the revolution.
They even call it a middle finger to the machine,
Yeah.
funding the nightmare of legacy media. Strong words.
They're not pulling any punches.
It's like David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
Tooker Studios and their community
Right.
taking on the giants of traditional media.
That's how they see it.
It's a bold move,
It is.
but does it really work? I mean, are people buying into this?
Well, their success so far suggests they've definitely found an audience.
Yeah.
an audience that's into this message, right?
Mm,
People who are already into crypto and disillusioned with the mainstream media.
right.
They're not trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
They're laser focused. And within that niche, they've been incredibly successful.
So how does this Tucker token actually work?
That's where things get really interesting, and that's what we're going to dive into next.
Stay with us as we figure out how this token operates within their ecosystem and what it all means for the future of media.
So the Tucker token, it's designed to be more than just an investment.
Okay, so more than just buying it hoping it goes up in value.
Exactly. It's a way for people to really participate in the whole Tucker Studios ecosystem.
Okay. So like how does that work? Do people get to vote on what videos they make or something?
That's one part of it, yeah. Tucker Studios says they want to use the token to give holders a say in the platform's direction. You know,
So the community decides what stories get told and how.
that's the idea.
Yeah.
It's about giving power back to the community, a direct stake, not just financially, but creatively too.
It's like a decentralized newsroom then. The audience is also the owner.
Yeah, they want a system where the community is invested in the platform's success. It challenges the old model, where just a few editors and execs call the shots.
Makes sense. They also talk about the token giving access to like exclusive content and experiences. What does that actually mean?
Think behind-the-scenes stuff. Early access to new videos, maybe even invites to meetups and events.
Oh, cool. Like a tiered system then. The more tokens you have, the more perks you get.
Exactly. It's about giving people incentives to stay engaged and invest more in the platform.
So they're creating a more dedicated fan base. People feel like they're getting something special for their support.
Right. It's about creating a sense of belonging, being part of something bigger than just watching videos. It goes back to their critique of legacy media being disconnected from its audience.
This Tucker token is a pretty wild idea, but it seems like it's working. I mean, the numbers are constantly going up. They're attracting big names in the crypto world.
Yeah, their success is real. But it makes you wonder about the future of media, right? Are we heading toward a more decentralized model where power and influence are spread out among more voices?
Or is this just a fad? It's wild to think about. On one hand, you have these giant media institutions with tons of resources and experience.
Right.
And on the other, you have these upstarts like Tucker Studios with a completely different approach using the internet and crypto to build their own audience and challenge the way things have always been done.
It's like a culture clash. Traditional media values objectivity, balance, fact-checking.
Right.
Tucker Studios is more subjective, opinionated, even confrontational. They're not afraid to provoke. And they seem to care more about entertaining than sticking to strict journalistic standards.
Yeah, they have a distinct voice. It's working for them with a certain crowd for sure. But can this model last?
That's the question. Can they keep this momentum going? Can they grow bigger without losing what makes them unique? And how will they handle the challenges that come with growth, like content moderation, quality control, dealing with misinformation?
Oh, yeah, you mentioned misinformation. That's a big criticism of decentralized platforms, right?
Right.
How do you stop the spread of fake news without those traditional gatekeepers like editors and fact checkers?
Tucker Studios says their community will self-regulate, that the wisdom of the crowd will weed out the bad stuff and promote the good stuff. But it remains to be seen if that's enough to really fight misinformation.
It's like a live experiment. Can a decentralized, community-driven media platform succeed without sacrificing accuracy and accountability?
That's the big question,
Yeah.
and only time will tell. But no matter what happens, Tucker Studios is making us rethink our ideas about how media works, who's in control, and how we get our information in the digital age.
Okay, so we've talked about their mission, their critique of legacy media, their use of memes and crypto to build a community. But what about their style? It's very in-your-face, even aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, it's polarizing. Some people think it's refreshing, authentic, funny. Others see it as brash, unprofessional, disrespectful even.
They're definitely not afraid of controversy. It's like they love it even.
It's a strategy. By pushing the limits and breaking the rules, they get attention, they spark debate, they solidify their image as outsiders, as rebels.
Yep.
It's common online, you know. To build a brand, you got to be loud, opinionated, even confrontational.
Sometimes it's hard to tell if they're serious or if they're joking. It's like they're always winking at you saying, we're all in on the joke, even if the joke's on everyone else.
Exactly. They play with irony and sarcasm absurdity. It's internet humor. It speaks to their target audience. But it can be confusing for people who aren't really plugged into online culture.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. But it's working for them. They have a loyal followers following millions of views. Endorsements from big names.
And they've done it all without changing who they are or conforming to the expectations of traditional media. They've made their own rules, their own platform, their own community.
It's pretty amazing. They found their own space in a really crowded media landscape. But what does their success tell us about the bigger picture? Is this the future of media or just a passing trend?
That's what we'll talk about in our final segment. We'll look at Tucker Studios in the context of media decentralization, the rise of alternative voices, and the evolving relationship between technology and information.
So we've seen how Tucker Studios is shaking things up, with their meme-powered, crypto-fueled media thing. But are they here to stay, or are they going to disappear?
Tucker Studios, love them or hate them, they're part of a bigger trend we're seeing. More and more people are getting their news from all sorts of places online, not just those traditional big outlets anymore.
It's like that old model where a few big networks controlled, everything is fading. You've got independent people, citizen journalists, influencers, and now these meme makers like Tucker Studios all competing for eyeballs.
Exactly. And technology is driving this change. The internet and social media mean anyone with a phone can create content, build an audience, maybe reach millions.
It's amazing, but also kind of overwhelming. How do you know who to trust with so many voices out there?
That's the challenge. It means we have to be smarter about the information we consume. Check our sources, consider different opinions, be aware of our own biases.
Tucker Studios is definitely making us think about these things. They're loud, they're provocative, they're not afraid to challenge anyone. Love them or hate them, they're definitely mixing things up.
They've tapped into a real sense of frustration that people have with traditional media, especially younger generations. Whether their way is the right way, well, that's still up for debate.
Yeah.
But they've definitely started a conversation.
And it's not just them. We're seeing more decentralized platforms, alternative news sources, independent voices challenging the old guard. It's like the Wild West out there.
Okay.
Exciting and a little scary at the same time.
And this decentralization thing, it's not just media. We see it in finance with cryptocurrency and technology with blockchain, even in how people organize themselves online with these communities. It's a power shift away from big institutions and toward more distributed networks.
So what does this all mean for our listeners? How should they navigate this constantly changing media world?
Be curious. Question everything. Look for diverse opinions. Don't just get your news from one place.
Exactly. Be open to changing your mind.
Yeah.
And be willing to talk respectfully to people who see things differently. And remember, information is power. Use it wisely. Well, there you have it. We've taken a deep dive into the world of Tucker Studios. We looked at their goals, their methods, their impact. We examined their critique of traditional media, their love of memes and crypto, their desire to build a new kind of media empire.
Agree with them or not, they're a sign of the times, a symbol of the changes happening in news and information.
They remind us that the media landscape is always changing, and we all have a hand in shaping it. So be critical, be curious, keep exploring. Until next time.